persons I want to honor. Why, Lord, as for this honor, I am a person love honor, and I am so glad to be vessel of honor.
And welcome to Out of the Box podcast. I am your regular host, Gabriel Ishmael Jallo. This is a special edition. I target a special edition because February is here. February reminds us of pain. February injects agony in our psyche, and February brings tears to our eyes. It was on the 27th of February last year when the Buduburam refugee camp was demolished. And in 1921, Dr. Nassel, a Norwegian scientist, started a High Commission for Refugees. And on the 14th of December 1950, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees was established. That means it is 75 years ago. When the United Nations High Commission for Refugees was established, in 1951, the Refugee Convention was adopted and ratified. So the mindset of the founding fathers was strictly to protect refugees. But what happens at the Buduburam refugee camp in February, it will go down as the saddest history for refugees anywhere in the world. Today I will be discussing this very, very sorrowful and emotional issue. I have a freelance journalist who covered that incident. So he's here with me. He will be joining me now so that we'll have a tete-a-tete for you, my audience. Once again, welcome to Out of the Box podcast with Gabriel Ishmael Jallo. As I invite my brother, the young Liberian freelance journalist who labored to get every synopsis of what transpired, will be joining me. So my brother, you are welcome on set as we are about to digest this very, very emotional issue. Welcome to Out of the Box podcast.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're looking good.
Thank you. Like by yourself.
Okay. I believe that a man can introduce himself better than anybody.
Obviously.
So in that light, I would want you to introduce yourself to my viewers.
Thank you. To our very good listeners, subscribers, and viewers. I'm Jidanamic, a freelancer here at the Buduburam Sarani, Ghana to be precise.
Okay. My brother, we have reached again another milestone in February, and you took your time to evaluate what transpired and convey it on your platform to the world. What really happened in Buduburam? Because I was in Cape Coast when I started hearing the information. How everything started.
Thank you. You know, in respect to the sad event that occurred on that day, the 24th of February 2024, it was too bad inside. Early dawn, we were approached by excavators and yellow machines coming into the camp. Before then, the chief gave us an impression that they were not coming to destroy the camp or demolish the camp.
Okay, stop there. Did the chiefs signal the camp resident that there was a pending demolition before you started seeing excavator infiltrating the camp?
No, there was nothing like first-hand information.
Okay.
It just happened at the dawn, around 6 in the morning. We spotted some yellow machine just coming, encroaching the camp, most especially downtown area A, which we call Zone 1.
Zone 1.
Zone 1.
Is Zone 1 where you find Krida, the oldest church in Bodoburam?
Yes.
Okay.
So in that area, there was a piece of swampy area.
Okay.
So they gave an impression to the people that they were only coming to drain that or wipe away that swampy area to make a market.
Oh, okay. So that means they hinted the camp resident that they have an intention to do a partial demolition so that they will erect a market. Which area did they signal the camp resident? Did they even inform the camp leadership?
Okay. If you talk about partial demolition, then it's like the camp will have been informed, but that one it was sound like partial because the swampy area it was just off the camp.
Okay.
It was off the camp. It was not in the perimeter of the camp.
Okay.
It just off the camp a little bit. So that was the impression they gave.
And because they signaled that impression, it did not trigger any alarm within the resident because that is not an area where you find more residents.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened next?
So on that particular day when they came and started the job, gradually going as people were coming around to observe what was actually going on.
Yeah.
Gradually they started going, and to our utmost surprise, they passed the line which they talk about.
Oh, okay.
Getting into the camp residence.
You see, because of the complexity of this incident, that is why you see I'm pausing you and asking you, because Liberians globally are concerned. So after they tricked the people that they were only going to handle a certain swampy area, all of a sudden the people see them going beyond the targeted area. Okay, what happened next?
So after they started moving up, and people began to be confused and started to ask themselves, well, what is going on? What is going on? And in that moment, you cannot fight them. All what Liberians were doing was to just stand by and see what they were doing.
Okay, so at the initial stages of the demolition, were they only removing roof or they were smashing the structures? What was the nature of the demolition? Was it a massive one at the initial stage, or they were taking their time not to trigger the anger of the refugees?
Okay, from the initial stage, it was not like massive because of the impression they came out with. They were taking it little by little, most especially when it passed by certain demarcations, certain line entering the camp. So people during that time, in fact, most of the residents were not around. But when they started coming up, some of those people that left their houses earlier on, they lost their household. Wow. They lost things.
Okay.
So many things they lost because upon their return, their houses were no more to be seen.
Oh, okay, wait for me. That means when this demolition was ongoing, there are some camp residents that were not even around. They returned to find their place demolished.
Yes, exactly. So there is a true story that I am telling you because I was present during the time when it started. During the time they started, I was present.
Okay.
And they were not allowing anyone, in fact, to even do a coverage.
Oh, they were preventing Liberians to do a coverage. Who was doing who were doing it?
So in the work, we were able to detect or realize that some of those chiefs were among the people as well as the other that I may term as language. They were among the people who found the secret personnel security system, but not the governmental.
Okay.
So people were engulfed with heavy fear as they were coming out with a strong warning that anyone that comes on their way, they will crush it out.
That means the chiefs embedded with those guys that work with them, they were unleashing threats on the refugees that anybody that attempt to resist them will be crushed.
Yes.
Okay, when this thing was happening, and you decided to risk your life because you was in the midst of these threats.
Yes.
Some of us far, we are seeing you live. You are mentioning systematically as everything was going. What was on your mind? Were you just making ultimate sacrifice? Were you? What was going through your mind to be that bold?
Thank you very much. Oh, this started when I sat down and I began to feel very sorry for the Liberians,
Okay.
including my very self. The human disaster that took place, it was very much bad. So how can these people be informed? I took that challenge.
Wow.
I get on the field.
Wow.
I was even beaten at some time in point, taking my camera or my camera away.
Yes, I remember.
Making
I
some
was told.
threatening statement
I was told.
that whenever they spot me anymore, they are going to get rid of me. But notwithstanding, I did not give up.
Okay.
Secretly, I
Okay.
was just online.
So when you were doing this coverage and unauthorized team unleashing threats around the area and threatening the defenseless refugee, where was the police?
The police were nowhere to be found. Police were nowhere to be found.
Because my curiosity for asking you this question, where the demolition started is just adjacent to the Ghana police.
Yes,
to the Ghana
obviously,
police.
obviously.
And the excavators were noisy.
Yes.
So that means the police knew about this. They did not come.
Oh, well, if the police knew about it, that could be, but they did not dispatch any police force in order to come to the surrounding or to where the demolition was being carried out.
Okay. So when this demolition now started intensifying, what was the role of the leadership within the refugee camp? What were they doing?
Okay, in the presence of a lot of speculations in respect to demolishing the part of the swampy area.
Yeah.
So the leadership of the camp cleverly started to reach out there to some other dignitaries and diplomats.
So our leadership, seeing that we were defenseless, number one, and knowing that the host, the inhabitants were going against the refugees, so they started engaging partners, international partners to complain. Okay, so what was the response?
For any time they write notice or try to admonish the official out of the camp, the UNHCR, the Ghana Refugee Board, even with the Ghana government as well, you're always telling them, "Oh, we get back to you."
As the demolition was intensifying, there is something that triggered my curiosity. On the 30th of September, when we engaged the authorities, we saw an outflow of all Ghanaian media. I was interviewed by UTV, I was interviewed by GTV, I was interviewed by other television and other radio stations. Where was the media?
Exactly, you are on point. During the systemic period you are talking about,
Yes.
I was present on ground as well.
Yes.
I was present on ground.
Yes.
And I saw a lot of media crews that came on the camp.
Yes.
I was surprised.
So now that the demolition
when it comes to the 21st or let's say the 24th February demolition, it was too surprising.
So the demolition was on the 24th.
On the
When I was giving my monologue, I said 27th.
Yeah, on the 27th. Sorry,
Okay.
It's on the 27th.
Okay, yeah.
27 February 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Viewers, don't forget that will be the saddest day since UNHCR was established on the 14th of December 1950. Yes, go ahead.
As I was saying,
No media.
no, there was no media. There was no
total media
So
blackout.
there was no media. Totally media blackout was experienced on that particular day.
So the camp leadership Did they try to call any of the media to come and see what is happening? Because you were the only media risking, just imagine you only having a phone for you to be able to convey this to the world. Did the camp management try to call other media houses?
Yes. It's a clear fact. They called some media houses to come and then cover what was going on, or to publicize the information that the camp is in high level of disasters. So they call upon the media, and my very self, they called some of my friends away, like talk about TV3, talk about GVTV, and other private media stations. But at that time, when you call the line, they were not even responding. So that alone signaled to our mind that they were all,
there was a collusion. Via, we are going for a break. It is getting very, very tough. And we want you to know that Ghana, as a nation, signed and ratified the OAU 1961 Refugee Convention and all international protocols and convention for refugees. We are going on a break. Yeah, I'm Brother Gabriel Ishmael Jallo, resident of Buruburam Refugee Camp. We are, for the last 48 hours, we are about to witness one of the most horrendous crimes that ever take place in any refugee camp in the world since United Nations was established in 1945. I say this because there are inconclusive processes that was started here by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the Ghana Refugee Board, and their implementing partners. They are yet to conclude it. They are about to evict us from the camp in a very gruesome demolition manner. And what makes me angry is because I'm standing on the soil where Kwame Nkrumah declared that the independence of Ghana is not conclusive until they have the total independence of Africa. I'm also standing where the ECOWAS chairman, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is here. Then today, Liberians, Sierra Leoneans, Ivorians, they are about to be evicted without even talking to them.
All right, let me ask you. We understand this place was decommissioned in 2010 by UNHCR, the Refugee Commission. Were you not aware? We also understand that some of your people returned home. Why do you still have, after 11 years, after the decommissioning of the refugee camp, you are still here and saying this?
Yeah, the refugee camp was decommissioned from a refugee camp to a refugee settlement. The decommissioning is embedded with processes, which is integration, repatriation, and some limited resettlement. But as I'm telling you now, all the process are inconclusive. Nobody is talking to us. Nobody is coming to us. All we know is that they have branded this place a place of a den of thieves. We are not security experts. The Ghanaian has security. They have the security experts who can fish out the criminals. You cannot seek refuge behind security or criminals to come and demolish a camp. You can go and look for the criminal. We are not criminals.
Are you alleging that the government officials have not spoken to you formally about this eviction?
Not at all. First of all, the DCE here has been very, very, very. I can't define the DCE here, because you just go on here and start talking without even talking to the local authorities here.
We understand they gave you 2 months. Are you not aware of that notice?
How can you give us 2 months on the ear? You don't come and sit with us. The process that you have not completed. You need to complete the process before you give me 2 months. 1 week ago, there was a meeting here where they said all those who are still refugees, they had a meeting across the road. They said they are coming to send them to school. So they have been flip-flopping. But you see, what Ghana need to know that there are people who are born here, they never gone to Liberia or Sierra Leone.
So you disagree with the eviction?
We disagree with it with distinction, because you cannot evict people. Even Ghana rent control, is it not 90 days? How the people who spend over 30 years here, you just come and evict them without going through the normal process? Welcome back. We had a very interesting behind the scene tete-a-tete, and we are continuing with the journalist. So before we close, we all agreed that Ghana signed all these international conventions and they ratified most of them. And we said that the fourth estate of the realm, the media, abandon their role this time around. So when the demolition took precedence, how did the refugee manage? Where were they sleeping? Breaking their houses over them? What happened really?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, the Buduburan camp in question, demolition was done in settlement.
Okay.
Settlement by settlement. That is,
zonally.
We have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. Okay. And this is how I was following the process as well.
Oh, okay. So that means you are following it serially.
Yeah. Yes.
You deserve an award.
So I was following. So I realized when the first portion of the camp was demolished, that is Zone 1.
Okay.
That having to do with Area A. You could see heavy influence of the Liberians just going to the school campuses because there was nowhere else for them to go.
Oh, okay.
So reaching to the school campus, there where they used to stay for some time.
Okay.
So that area was being described as a display camp for the Liberians who houses have been demolished.
This is painful. Refugees are now refugees in refugees.
Yes.
Refugees now who are in a refugee camp, they are now looking for sanctuary to seek refuge in an African country where the founding father of this nation was bragging about Pan-Africanism. This is painful. Go ahead, my brother.
So these people that were able to be present at that time took away their things and carried to the campus.
Okay. The various schools.
The various schools.
Okay.
And in respect to the school system for the children, everything was just at stake. Because as they were demolishing, parents were losing hope.
So that means the entire academic nature or the academic system of the Liberian refugee was diminished.
Oh yes, obviously.
No, there's nothing you think about schooling. Yes. So everybody's only thinking where they will lay their heads.
Where you will lay their head, because there is nothing. Okay. When they started demolishing schools. In fact, in that area, we have schools and churches that were involved.
And they were not spared.
Churches were destroyed. Most of the churches were destroyed as well.
Okay.
So
now we just touched about the media. On 2022 September 30, when the DCE was even threatening bringing their excavator, and we resisted them, we saw an outflow of human rights organizations.
Obviously.
This time, madam, where were they? We didn't see the Amnesty International. We didn't see Ghana Christian Council. When you were doing your recording, did you spot any jeep or vehicle of the Ghana refugee?
Nothing like that. You see, the period under discussion is a very sad period in the history of the Liberian refugees at the Buduburan camp.
Okay.
It was very bad because during that time you could not see any one of the authority around. No one came around. No NGO came around.
Wow.
I mean, in terms of, in fact, encouraging Liberians, there was no one that you could see. But only to see Liberians crying, tearing, in fact, just leaving their place.
I saw one of your video. Even when the Liberians were trying to get the remaining of their household, the caterpillar was still smashing it.
Yes.
I saw a video as they are trying to run away, the caterpillar was smashing their things.
It's a true story. I witnessed it.
Okay, now, when all this thing was taking place, where was the government of Ghana? Because they are claiming that this thing was done by local chief. And we know that the machinery of the state is run by the government. So when you are doing your coverage, So the Interior Ministry, the Ghana Refugee Board, and the NADMO, did you encounter them for any interview?
No. During the period on discussion, there was no governmental official on ground. And in fact, with all the letters and communications that were sent to them, they did not answer anything. Only to say, we shall get back to you, the authority. We shall get back to you until they were not able to get back to
viewers. This is a situation that happened when they have a government, and this government was led by the ECOWAS chairman, His Excellency the former president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was in office when Liberians were going through this. I told some Ghanaian friends that this will be the biggest thing on the legacy of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So, my brother, now, when the Ghanaian authority decided to, because I can say it's a connivance, because if the media was not coming forth, all other organizations were not coming forth, the government also was tight-lipped. The police was right behind us when they were demolishing the camp, and our people were going through this pain. Then we can conclude that it was a premeditated thing.
Obviously speaking, highly premeditated.
Okay.
Because when this thing was happening, in fact, the statement that we could hear from the side of the government was like, but we told them to leave the place. We told them to leave the place.
Oh, okay.
We told them to leave the place. We told them to leave the camp. So you told them to leave the camp. In what way you have told them to leave the camp?
And what are the conditions that you wanted to leave the camp?
Because they are refugees that have been staying or living in the Bourbon camp before.
Wow.
For decades.
So now that our hosts have decided to treat us this way, did the camp leadership engage the Liberian government through the embassy? Because it was all on social media. Did they engage the Liberian government?
Obviously, the leadership of the camp did engage the Liberian government through the embassy.
Okay.
Through the Liberian embassy here in Ghana.
Okay.
Accra to be precise.
Okay.
So for any time they reach the right or a communication, the embassy will tell them, okay, your concern, we will work on your concern, will be channeled through the foreign ministry in Liberia, but we cannot make our own decision.
Okay.
Any decision that will be made will have to come from Liberia.
From Liberia.
Yeah.
But did the Liberia embassy ever try to come and identify with the Liberians at the height of that demolition?
In the height of the demolition, I did not see any embassy car coming there.
Okay.
It was a certain time in point when half of the camp was gone. Half of the camp was being demolished.
When you say half of the camp, what do you mean? Which area from here?
Okay.
They say half. What constitutes half?
Okay. You see, Zone 8 or Area A was demolished.
Okay.
Area B was demolished. C as well. Area O was demolished. Area T was demolished. You see me? So when you are speaking of the largest area on the camp, you see Area A extension, you see Area O extension, you see Area T. These places are very much.
So after all these places have been crippled and the people are now sleeping in various centers, that's when the embassy started trying to showing concern.
Yeah.
So now the Liberian government finally came, but when the Liberian foreign minister, deputy foreign minister, came to the camp, a meeting was held. Were you there?
I was there at the meeting. And the meeting was here at the school campus, one of the school campuses, which we call Point Hope. And Point Hope at that time was named as Center 1
Oh, Quanto was the headquarters.
Yeah, it was one of the display centers.
Yes.
And when you enter that school campus, it was too packed, generally packed, overpacked.
Okay. So when the foreign minister came, because Liberians have very reputable institution that we knew before this promotion. We have the Liberian students in Ghana, Lisa. We have all the county heads. We have Aliko. We have the ministerial council. When they engaged the minister, what was the message that they presented to the minister?
Okay. When they engaged the minister, they did present the plan of the refugees. That we have so many things that are undone by the UNHCR.
Okay.
So these are the problem we are faced with as refugees. But when they presented all these things to the Deputy Foreign Minister and his entourage, they said, okay, we understand and we are going to get back to the Ghanaian government and have meeting with the official as well. But in the first place, we brought a message from the government of Liberia.
Okay.
Mainly from Joseph N. Boaga.
His Excellency.
His Excellency.
Okay.
So, and their message was unveiled there. Some of their messages unveiled was like, we are here to get a very clear understanding of what is happening.
Okay.
In respect to the demolition.
Okay.
And notwithstanding, we are also going to organize a repatriation process is going to be organized. In respect to that or repatriation, when you are opportune and return back to Liberia, while you're on ground, we are going to help you.
Okay.
In order to.
Okay. Now, when the deputy foreign minister came to Ghana, was he in the company of the Liberian Refugee Reconstruction and Reconciliation Commission? Were they part of that team, the LCCC?
Yes. When you see, yes. And when they were present, I was there. I went there. In fact, I saw the banner on the broad with a lot of locals that had to do with refugee agency, implementing partners.
Okay.
That they came with.
So now you said the minister is saying that he was here to find out what transpired in the demolition, because the various Liberian segments, the arms of the Liberian, the students and the ministerial council, they have already explained to the minister.
Yes.
But is the LCCC not privy with the intricacies of refugee? They don't know that they need to tell them. They don't know really what was going on with the Liberians. They don't know that there are inconclusive processes with all the Liberians. They don't know. By your listening to them, were they oblivious to this fact?
You know, the process of Liberian refugees in the Bodibon camp, well, it is very difficult because the government of Liberia cannot tell us that they don't know anything about the refugees living in Ghana.
They can't.
But at times they pretend as though they don't know.
Okay.
Exactly.
When they came.
How can the demolition go on?
Yes.
Take for instance, during Joshua regime.
Okay.
Joshua regime, demolition was the information of demolishing the camp was heard.
Yes, we started hearing snippets of the information.
And the government of Liberia under President, we are urgently dispatched a high level of delegates.
Okay.
To come to Ghana.
And what was their mission
with the people?
What was the mission of the then government?
Okay, the mission was also to understand and also to put a halt to the demolition process.
Okay. Now
because they needed a clear understanding.
Okay. Now, if you go now to the Liberian refugee situation, because you see, if you go now to the Liberian refugee situation, there are different segments of refugees. You have integrity. You have. Can you give me a breakdown? Let's get a breakdown of who we can find within the camp.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In respect of the grouping that you just asked,
Yeah.
I would like to tell you, the grouping came out this form after reaching the durable solution.
The durable solution, okay.
Yeah. It started from the durable solution, and the durable solution has to do with voluntary repatriation, integration. That was all.
Oh, okay. So the durable solution is
These are the packages they presented to the Liberians at that time.
okay, and resettlement was not part of it.
Resettlement, as I said, it was not part.
Okay.
So in that during that process, you realize that some of the Liberians chose to go back home based on the ground that they have certified to go back home.
Okay.
So others,
So that means they were educated that one of the options is for you to go back home, and they subscribed to that education. They decided to go, right? The repatriation.
Yes, for them.
Okay.
So with those that chose not to go, they were also impressed by the statement made by the UNHCR and the Ghana Refugee Board that whenever you are integrated here in Ghana, we have so many benefits for you.
Okay.
Some of the benefits are having to do with schooling system, housing facilities, good standard of living.
So this was what the promise.
Yes.
The other segment of Liberian before they subscribe to the local integration.
Yes.
Now I think I want to agree with you, because when I checked Google, this is what they told me. They say local integration in Ghana is referred to the process where refugees are allowed to fully integrate into Ghanaian society, including legal rights to live and work within the country, access to education and healthcare, and the potential to eventually acquire citizenship. And they say this is managed primarily by the Ghana Refugee Board under the supervision of the Ministry of Interior. They say this process involves legal, economic, social, and cultural aspects, and with the goal of allowing the refugees to live happily alongside the host people without discrimination.
Yeah.
This is what I read, and it is in tandem with what you are telling me. Tell me today, what is written in this? Because some of them even quote the PNDC law 305D. So now tell me, those who took integration, were they able to benefit from all this? What we saw written in black and white. Can you tell me, because we don't know, they go to their meetings. Then what are the benefits of the integration?
Thank you. Those that opted for integration at that time did not receive anything like package from the government of Ghana, neither the UNHCR,
No education,
neither the Ghana Refugee Board. No education, no home facilities, no job, no healthcare, all these things.
So that means that means this was only written.
These were only written but not implemented.
Not implemented.
Yeah.
So because of this bits, it trigger people to accept the local integration.
Obviously.
So this is one of
the factors that,
yes,
even though we have some other Liberians that were into so many activities at that time individually, but this alone gave more impression for you to stay. Take for instance, you have been away from your country for decades plus.
You see,
2-3 decades
no,
plus.
listen, when you say you have been away from your country, you even make it looking more good. You are born here.
Yes, exactly.
30 years, even if you come here,
yeah,
you will have been a youth when you come here. This is 30 years.
yes.
If you spend 30 years here, you have children here. Now the Ghanaian government is saying that. Listen again, I have to read it for my viewers, and I'm reading this for my Ghanaian friends, because I've been hearing Ghanaians are saying that Liberians have been very unreasonable. They have to go home and there is nothing for them. While you are saying this thing, this is what is agreed upon. This is what is agreed upon. I'm reading it now. Local integration is referred to the process where refugees are allowed to fully, listen to the word, fully integrate into Ghana society, including rights to live and work within the country, access education and healthcare, and the potential to eventually acquire citizenship, managed by primarily the Ghana Refugee Board under the supervision of the Ministry of the Interior. This process is involved legal, economic, social, cultural aspects, with the goal of allowing the refugee to live happily alongside the host population without discrimination. If we are to go with what is written here, why will you demolish structure over their head? Why will you do it? We have to go on break. We have to go on our final break. And viewers, we are going for our final break. When we come back, I can see my journalist is very, very emotional, but take heart. We are going for our final break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm standing in the territory of the venerable Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, where he said the unification of Africa, the independence of Ghana is meaningless until you have the total unification of Africa. I'm seeing the way Liberians, Sierra Leoneans, and other nationalities are being treated here. Liberians, to be precise, Liberians benefited from an integration process that is inconclusive. Nobody is coming to speak to them. Nobody comes to speak to the Liberians. Their situation is very pathetic. Every morning they will come and give threats of demolition. It is a pain. Just 2 years ago, the President and the Republic of Ghana was brandishing the year of return, calling Africans to come back home. They are driving Liberians here. It is very unfortunate. My brother, the DCE will say one thing, when people go to the Ghana, they will say another thing. We don't expect this for Ghanaians, because if you go to our countries, our fishing industry is run by Ghanaians. Nobody is harassing Ghanaians. Why are they harassing Liberians here like this? My brother, it's unfortunate.
It's a sorry state you refer to this as a harassment. You have been served notice from 2010 when this camp was decommissioned. Why would you perceive this as a harassment?
The word serving notice is even a mockery. How can you serve notice to me without concluding the process that you have on hand? There are processes that they have on hand. Even the passports to Liberia, they are not giving them. They have refugees here that the UNHCR have accepted their status. They have not come to talk to them. They have people there that they call dismissed. They say they are coming to talk to them. They are not come to talk to them. Every time, recently there's a meeting right there where OB called all the refugees that those who have refugee status will start going to school. While you have meeting 48 hours ago, you are bringing Caterpillar to come destroy your African brothers. It's unfortunate. I'm in pain this morning.
My brother, I'm very interested in the process you mentioned. Is it only to do with passports, or that there are other processes? And what have you done as an opinion leader to mobilize your people to engage the process so that it comes to a smooth conclusion?
We have been engaging this process tirelessly. Yesterday we have a meeting with the residents, with the head of this camp, Obi, the camp manager. He's not even telling us anything. He became a spectator here while our brothers and sisters are languishing. It's a pain. And above all, my pain this morning is that presently the ECOWAS head of the ECOWAS chairman is Ghana. How can Ghana be hosting ECOWAS meeting? Ghanaians are ready to drive Liberians here. We are in pain this morning. We are outside here to see them demolishing us to this building, to see that our people, our old folks, some are not even well. Some have nowhere to go. Then you are coming to demolish it. We don't sleep for the last 30 days. Every morning the DCE will come and threaten Liberians as if Ghanaians are not in other countries, as if the year of return is a mockery. We are here this morning. We will stand here with our family, our people, to let President Nana Akufo-Addo know that what they want to do to the Liberians here is unfortunate, it's un-African, it's defeat the purpose of Kwame Nkrumah.
My brother, do you not also consider the fact that every ill in society, especially around this part of the central region, is attributed to this camp? And do you not worry about that kind of name?
There is a police station here. The policemen here knows those who are engaging in illicit society. The camp have been polluted. We have Ghanaians here, we have Nigerians here. It is not Liberians that are criminal here. The criminal are people that come here. It's the responsibility of the security apparatus to fish them out. But you can't demolish the camp under us. But you can't demolish the camp under us. Let the security, you are paying them. Let them come and fish out the criminals instead of coming to demolish and put our people in pain this morning. We are at pain this morning. We are calling the president of Ghana to let him know that The African solidarity is being abused by threatening the Liberians this morning here.
We appreciate the time, Brother Jallo, and we'll keep you engaged until this whole process.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, we are back. I'm here with my brother. I'm lobbying for him to win the next Nobel Peace Prize award for freelance journalists. Yeah. Okay, now after we have touched this point, I think we are justified to say the Liberian government, the Liberian authority, did not negotiate from the from the point of strength, because at times when you negotiate, because now let's say when the Liberian foreign minister came, did they tell you guys that they are going to engage the government or the chief? Who did they say they will engage? Is it the government or the chief?
Okay, yes, when the delegates arrive from Liberia, they did tell the Liberians that in respect to the information they heard and what they have so far gotten from the people on ground, they are going to engage the chief,
okay,
and the government as well. But one of the excuses they normally gave at that time was, the government of Liberia is just being inaugurated. This is the first. Can you imagine?
But is it true that
it was on the 4th of March, 2024, when a statement was released?
Okay, but is it true that the Liberian foreign minister came and said they are going to beg the chiefs to do an extension? I heard that rumor. Is it true that the chief should halt the demolition? They are going. The foreign minister of Liberia is begging the chief. Was that true?
Oh yes, obviously that is a complete begging, because if you as a government or counterpart to the other one, and you are not coming up with a forceful statement that will compel them in order to pause.
Yes.
And you start around, we are going to plead with them, we are going to ask them. Then meaning that
pleading with them for what?
Then you are not understood.
You have no business to beg anybody.
You have not understood the plan or the suffering of the Liberians still.
Okay. Listen. Let me do this for my viewers, because I'm surprised if the Liberian minister on the 22nd of September 2008. You see, I am saying this, viewers, because I was a registered Sierra Leonean refugee in Liberia, and on the 28th we came there 1997, and on the 28th of September the UNHCR, the LRRC, and their implementing partners undertook a local integration process. They built 111 houses for Sierra Leonean refugees, and when they were dispatching the Sierra Leoneans to go and take their houses, the chiefs at Brove, they were clapping for the Sierra Leoneans. They beat drum for our people, welcoming them, because they are African brothers. And if you go through that story, you will discover that that process, even the naturalization process of Sierra Leoneans, was handled by the UNHCR. It is right. This is the story. Yes, you see. So the repatriation was, the integration was big. The Sierra Leoneans benefited just by. Liberia is a war-torn nation. This is a nation that started war from 1989. It ended 1996. Then the war started 1997. It ended 2003. These people fought 2 wars in 14 years. They were able to give Sierra Leoneans accommodation, permanent accommodation. So I was surprised why the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Liberia came to Ghana and did not engage his Ghanaian counterpart from the position of strength and said, you have clauses with our people. We will repatriate those who are not under those clauses, but those who are under those clauses, you have to meet with your obligation. But I am shocked because the Liberians did it for the Sierra Leoneans. Now I want to find out, those people, the Liberian government promised to do a repatriation. Can you give us Can you give us a preview, a view of really what transpired, the repatriation and where it is now?
Well, for the first repatriation, it was organized.
Okay.
It was organized. The first repatriation, the first batch.
The first batch.
Yeah, the first batch.
Okay.
First batch.
Can you remember around the dates that is happening? Around the month and date that the first repatriation took place?
First batch was
around May.
May, June.
Okay.
Yeah, May, June, something like that.
Okay.
It was the time. The first batch of repatriation took place.
Okay.
So, during the first time, people were very much interested to go back to Liberia.
Okay.
Because immediately after the demolition, people were homeless. And as they were at the campuses where there is no better life, where you see the toilet facility, you see the health facility, just everything was poor when it comes to food stuff. When people were struggling on their own, how to survive. So when they brought in the repatriation process, there was no hope anymore for anyone.
Okay.
But only to just take that chance and get back to Liberia. So that's how people started registering.
Okay.
And I was around monitoring all those things.
Okay. The electrical with other implementing partners.
Implementing partners.
Okay.
If you read the panel, there are a lot of implementing panels, locals that were collaborating
to get the people. Okay.
IMO, you talk about LRRC, you talk about so many things that was written. So they took them. They took the first batch of people to Liberia. When they carried them, what they promised to give to them, all was not given. Only to hear again, the money was reduced. Because when they came, they gave us the impression that when you get back to Liberia, $500 will be given to you as an adult. Yes.
To start your life
there.
Okay, were they promised accommodation?
Accommodation in the northern hand was promised.
Okay.
Like since you left Liberia and now you are going there, or having processed you upon your arrival in Liberia.
Okay.
We are going to give you some shelters where you are going to stay or live for some time, and after that, before you can get to your permanent home.
So that means listening to you, it's like the repatriation promises were not met.
Were not met
in Liberia.
Was not met in Liberia.
Okay, now what about?
Was not met in Liberia.
Yes,
because I'm saying they were not met in Liberia because out of 700 and some thousand people that you carry, if you are to give them $500 each, and you give half of the numbers of the people $300 each, I say, man.
No, you have not. So now there is a pending repatriation. Why is it stalled? Why are we not hearing anything from one date to another, from another date? What is happening?
Okay. After the first repatriation, due to the same impression, the second batch was also organized. The second batch of repatriation was organized.
Okay.
Because when the second batch was being organized, at that time, we were not receiving any news, genuine news coming from Liberia. That the people they have carried, they have settled them.
That to motivate more people to go.
So they have not settled them.
Okay.
In the way they were in the process, as they claim.
Okay.
They were in the process, but then use the same process to come and then get the second batch. So the second batch of people left for Liberia. Upon their arrival in Liberia, there where we started to get the entire information that there is a situation,
and we learned that there was mismanagement was also uncovered there.
Obviously.
Okay. Now as we are closing this interview, now presently, what's the condition of those refugees around those various centers? What's the condition?
I want to tell you that the living standard of the display Liberians at the various center is too much deplorable. It's very much deplorable.
Wow.
Deplorable. It is heartbreaking. If you pay a visit there to tell the public, I don't live outside.
Listen, he's giving a life testimony. Listen.
After the camp was demolished, my house was demolished, my little business that I was doing was demolished. I was out of mind, confused, and waiting to start life. How can I start life? I went to live in a center.
Wow, one of the centers.
One of the centers.
Okay.
Which we call Center 6. That is Women's Center.
And
that's where I stay.
Okay, who cater for them? Who cater for them? Is it government of Liberia? Are there NGOs, organizations that come to care for them? Who cater for them?
Before them, my dear brother, NGO is not catering for any displaced people in the Liberian camp. The people that we have to be very much appreciative with is the brothers Liberians, other concerned people in the video. That at that time when the demolition was at a high peak, decided to raise concern about brothers and sisters who were at the center. So there the news to put some things together, purchase some rights, items,
voluntary
purchasing. The news to carry there. But after the second repatriation, while we do await the third repatriation now, that we are yet to realize right now
things are tough.
Things are very much tough.
Okay,
and I could describe the life there as everybody is for themselves.
Wow.
You just have to do improvise for yourself. And the day you don't have it, you go dry, you sleep dry.
And knowing that, the demolition of the 18 and the other places crumble the economy of the
camp.
So that means it's even more difficult for those
if you talk about the 18 plus 80 in the Liberian refugee camp, Budubura, 18 plus 80.
That's the New York.
That's the New York of the camp. It was being described as the economic hotline for the Liberians.
Yes.
There were, it is not just a high level or high profile area, but it's a place where Liberians go to do their one-to-one business.
Okay.
Survival.
Thank you very much.
Now the place has been demolished.
Thank you very much. You have to give me one short break so that we will do our final one short break.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Saying this demolition exercise should be put on hold. Why so?
I think the refugee board has evaluated the weight of demolishing this camp in a very premature manner, and they know the effects will be very, very dire for the Ghanaian relationship with their brothers in the West African region, precisely Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast. So I think they think that by the media concentration on the camp on the 30th, which will have been the deadline for the demolition to take place on the 10th, on the 1st, makes the Ghana Refugee Board decided to change their decision and said they will be doing it 3 months later. So we were here, the state TV, GBC came on the 1st in the morning. They have me on an interview and they said they have postponed the demolition from now to December.
Oh, okay. But you said it's premature. Were they not informed that they're going to demolish the place?
Yeah, there have been spontaneous rumor, especially it was not coming from the refugee board, it was coming from the DCE and the traditional chief. We were alleging that Budubura refugee camp is now a hub of criminals. So to alleviate or to get rid of that criminology, they had to demolish the camp. But the traditional chief and the DCE, they don't know that the Ghana Refugee Board, the UNHCR, and their implementing partners has an inconclusive program with the refugees here. They have not concluded the process. So how can you demolish the the camp when we are even in a COVID. The borders are closed. Demolishing the camp will be very cruel and very un-African, and it will abuse the dream of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, whose ambition was to have the unification of Africa. How can you demolish the camp when we are in COVID? The borders are closed. Where do you expect the people to go? Besides, what about the integration process that the Ghana government signed into? That some Liberians decided to go home, some decided to be integrated in the Ghanaian society. What happened to that process? If you have not concluded that process, why are you talking about demolition? It was premature, it was reckless, and it was unfortunate.
Mr. Jolo, maybe if you can school me a bit. We know these people, these refugees from Liberia, from Sierra Leone, from these West African countries. They came to Ghana as a result of seeking refuge because maybe there were disturbances at their various countries.
Okay.
What is the process and what is the time limit or the time frame for them to be here before they go back to their countries?
Yeah, what's happening there is something they call durable solution. In any time there will be the end of a lifetime of a refugee situation in any country. The durable solution, you have resettlement, you have repatriation, you have reintegration, and some were repatriated who decided to go home. Some benefited from a resettlement program of third country of asylum. Then some decided to stay in Ghana. They have been in Ghana for almost 30 years. Some of them, they have never been to Sierra Leone, neither Liberia. They never know their home. They are born here. They're here. Some of them are 20, 30 years here. So when the Ghana government decided to integrate them in the Ghanaian society, there are processes that are embedded in that integration. That processes have not been exhausted. So trying to demolish the camp is that the Ghana Refugee Board is shredding from its responsibility that is signed into with the United Nations and are implementing partners to come and demolish the camp in the name of chasing criminals. We are telling them that we are not defending anybody here that is a criminal. If there are criminals here, there are criminals in New York, there are criminals everywhere in the world. It is the responsibility of the law enforcing agency to fish out the criminal. But you cannot come and demolish the camp when you have not exhausted the integration process. And there are 300 and some family heads that the United Nations High Commission for Refugees have accepted as refugee. They have the refugee card. They are here. How can you demolish the camp when you don't have any place for them? So it's like it was so premature, it was unfortunate, it was un-African, really.
Okay, but are you aware of the activity that maybe goes on there? The bad activities, if I should put it that way, because this is the reason why the DC and the traditional leaders want to demolish the place.
Yes, we are aware that there are crimes here and anywhere in the world, and we are even incapable of handling it. That is why the United Nations High Commission of Refugee improved the facility of the Ghana Police. We have the Ghana Police here, we have the Ghana Fire Service here, we have two courts around, the Afanko Court and the Awutu Court. So those who are criminals, it is the duty of the law enforcing agency to take them out. But their majority here are not criminal. They say people run away from other places and come to hide here.
Sorry for cutting. We normally hear that they are maybe hardened criminals to the extent that the police are not even able to go there to make any arrest at some point.
That information cannot be true because the police is very close here. There was a time a Liberian was beaten here. The police went to the gap. If they would have said they are going to demolish the gap, where they sell drugs and other things, it would have been okay. We wouldn't have problem with that. But what about the place where they have schools, where refugees are going to school? We have churches here. We have very decent and moral lives here. It is the duty of the law enforcing agency to clear those places. There are places here that are very, very, very bad, as any other area in Ghana, as any other area in New York, any other area in South Africa. But you cannot seek refuge behind that and come and demolish a camp at the expense of your responsibility of having people who have integrated in your society. That's our claim. We are not fighting for land. We don't have problem with the crisis that is between various vested interests of chiefs in this land. All we are saying that there are processes that have been started. Let them conclude those processes, and so they can take their land. But if you have not concluded the process, how can you demolish? Where can we go? How can we go? The processes are inconclusive. That has been our cry.
Okay, but finally, this demolition exercise that was supposed to go on has been discussed for a very long time. I've conducted, let's say, my memory will serve me right, like 5 interviews on this demolition exercise. Why did you wait for this long to come out to maybe talk about this inconclusive negotiation as you're speaking now?
Yeah, we have written the United Nations, we have written African Union, we have been speaking, we have been writing, but they are not responding. It was because the media comes here. We don't have money now to engage media. We are war weary people. So, but now that the media came to the spotlight, we have to hear it and hear it forcefully. I was on GBC. It's like when they had me on GBC, there was a panel there. Then some people started knowing that there are processes in the Burburan camp that the public have never knew about. Now they have known about them.
You just even informed me. I didn't even know that there was this inconclusive negotiation or process that's maybe supposed to go on before they can demolish the place. I didn't even know.
Yes, they are. So we are at the fourth estate of the realm. It's your duty now to propagate that very, very forcefully, because what we are saying is that Ghana has done very, very well in bringing peace to Sierra Leone and Liberia, and Ghanaians' interests are very, very strong in our countries. Ghanaians have businesses, especially my country, for instance. The fishing industry is run by Ghanaians. Most of the good teachers and lecturers in our schools are Ghanaians. If they see Ghanaians decided to demolish this place in this reckless and premature manner, and it is going on social media, you don't know the reaction that our people will take against Ghanaian interests. Ghana is the gateway to Africa. We don't expect this from Ghanaians. We are asking the relevant authority to really own up to their responsibility and do something decent that will not create any explosive outcome in our countries.
Okay, so in conclusion, you said the Refugee Board has accepted, and the Ghanaian authority has also accepted that they will wait for 3 months before they demolish the place.
Yeah, that's what we are told by the GBC reporter who came on the 1st. So we were even expected that announcement to be coming from the DCE or the Ghana Refugee Board. But we are having a meeting. We are forming a committee that will go into Ghana Refugee Board next week to find out what is embedded in these 3 months. What are their plans for the next 3 months before demolishing the camp?
Because that was exactly going to be my next question. That before the 3 months, are you very sure that you will conclude the process before the 3 months, so that when they are about to demolish the place or when they are going to do it, there wouldn't be any maybe blockage or any disturbances?
I think that the Ghana government need to answer that. If they can able to exhaust this within 90 days, that will be good. If we flip the coin, do you know that if the Ghana Refugee Board will now write the United Nations High Commission for Refugees that we took up a process 8 or 9 years ago to integrate these people in the Ghanaian society? Looking at the housing deficit that Ghanaians are facing, I doubt if the Ghanaian government has the economic capability now of integrating refugees, give them homes. Why can't they ask the United Nations to come in so that these people will be taken to a third country of asylum? Because I doubt in these 90 days, what the Ghanaian authority cannot do in 9 years, 10 years, I doubt if they can succeed in do it in 90 days. I doubt it.
But are you also able to organize your people, those who will go back to their country? Are you able to organize them within these 3 months or before these 3 months?
Yes, we have even asked for those who want to be repatriated to Liberia, Sierra Leone, so that they will start putting their name. But we need to have a meeting with the Ghana Refugee Board and the Christian Council and their implementing partners next week. Whatever the outcome is, whenever you call me back, I'll let you know.
Okay, so for now, the 3 months has been agreed on.
The 3 months have been agreed on according to the GBC journalists who came to Budwan. We have not seen the announcements by they used to have a town crier who comes here and announce that pack your bags and leave. We are not seeing them any longer. We are not seeing the police around. We are not seeing any sign of excavators. The tension that was hanging over the camp before the September 30 has been diminished. So we think that the 3 months is something that they are working on.
Okay, we will try our best to speak to the opinion leaders and find out if they have also agreed on the 3 months. But how are the people feeling now, these refugees? How are they feeling now? How are they taking this whole thing?
There is an uneasy calm that hangs over the camp. But at least because of the suspension of the demolition for the next 3 months, at least people are taking it with a pinch of salt. And because just imagine somebody wake up in the morning, he has stayed in the country for 20-something years, he has agreed to integrate in that society. Then authority are telling him that he cannot even have money to rent. Even there was a claim that we accepted Liberians to come to the Ghanaians to come to the camp. We said the camp was decommissioned from a refugee camp to a refugee settlement 2010. When they made it a settlement, it opened the floodgate for Ghanaians and other people to come and look for places here. We cannot drive them. We are not law enforcing agency. The duty of the policy bearer to come and handle it. So we are only waiting and crossing our fingers to see what our African brother, especially Ghana, shot a shining star of Africa in African liberation, to see how they can give us a decent integration package or call for a third country of asylum for us to live.
Yes, you have done justice to this interview. Trust me. We want people to know that this is the situation, the Boruburam refugee settlement. Our brothers and our sisters have been imprisoned, so to say, in those centers. No food, nothing coming from government, nothing coming from NGO. They are at the risk of attracting and contracting disease. So whatever you can do for them, please don't forget that this is the situation and the only refugee camp in the world that was demolished. Now, finally, sir, we want to talk about camp politics. Finally,
Yeah.
Who are the leader? Who is the leader of the defunct? As we are now facing the defunct nature of the camp, who is the leader, or who are the leaders of the Bolivia?
Thank you very much. The current leadership of the camp, it is still under Chairman Dennis Goyen.
Okay, he is still known,
Yes.
the known chairman,
Yes.
the known face of our camp.
Yes, I
Okay.
do believe it.
Okay,
Yes, he's still under the chairman of Dennis Goyen.
okay, but what about this rumor of another Aliko and another group, and what can you tell me about the power struggle within the camp?
Well, the power struggle in the camp right now has to do with certain conditions that arise sometimes in point.
Okay,
Yes, that have to do with the $10,000 US that was given
okay,
to Chairman Dennis.
okay,
It was from that point another group came about, which they call concerned Liberians,
okay,
in order to come and then other setting or battle along with Chairman Dennis,
okay,
because they want to know actually
How the money
was spent.
okay. So for them, their objective is accountability. Is it accountability, or they are interested in being leadership? What do you think is their objective?
Well, as they put their names, concerned Liberians,
Yeah.
I want to do believe they want to be a leader. But then, dwelling on the $10,000
Okay.
so we are not being able to, or I personally have not been able to identify the exact motive that they are coming with.
Beside them
sometimes
interrogating about the 10,000, you don't see any other motive, right?
I'm here to establish that. Because I make it my duty some time ago to do an interview with them,
Okay.
to know what the group was meant for.
And what did you?
I'm here to get that.
Okay. Now, finally, I want to thank you for coming. I want to look at the camera and say it is clear that the Liberian refugee who opted for integration were not treated fairly. It is clear that what is written that attracted them to opt for that option, it is no more viable. So the former government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former president, has failed to meet with the Ghanaian obligation. And we are coming to appeal to this government, the government of His Excellency President John Mahama, which is very astute foreign minister, and the Ministry of Interior, that if Ghana cannot meet with the requirement of integration, they should allow these Liberians to opt for third country of asylum. Once again, this is Out of the Box podcast. My brother and myself will stand for 1 minute so that we will give silence for the Liberians that have lost their life, the Liberians that have been displaced, the Liberians that are in prisons, and the Liberians who are almost seen as stateless before we close this interview. So let's have a minute.
Enjoy and gladness with our hearts united. We shout the freedom of our lives united. Liberia, happy land, our home of glorious liberty by God's command. Our home of glorious liberty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are very, very grateful to have you here. Viewers, this is Out of the Box podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment, as you'll be seeing the next video very soon. Thank you very much. Gabriel Ishmael Jallo, Out of the Box podcast. Thank you.
And Mabel Constance.
Mabel Constance.
Peter Kawa is my name.
Peter Kaba, okay?
Name is Daniel Krote Blawa,
Okay.
from Liberia.
Of these verses I want to honor. Why, Lord, as for this honor, I am a person love honor, and I am so glad to be vessel of honor.